All right, guys, we are holding an AMA with Pay It Now in the Ninja Lounge. And so, what we're going to do to start this off today is introduce and kind of say who we are. Ninja Lounge has just been formed in the last couple of weeks. So, we're a very young group, but we are all crypto enthusiasts and crypto investors, some for many months and some for many years. And so, we have 5 core team members and big plans. And so, a lounge, a relaxed lounge to host AMAs in and try to host AMAs with good projects. We want to bring to our members good projects that they can invest in and, it'd be a long term play and them be able to diversify their money into crypto and reap some rewards and, benefit and gain knowledge at the same time. I don't know if Yolanta, if you want to add to that any, or Jay, either one, as to who we are, how we came together.
Jay?
I mean, I could add a couple of things. No, I could add a couple of things. I mean, obviously, we want to be able to introduce to the community, really good projects like Tracy said. Not to mention, have an atmosphere within the lounge where, we can have discussions about the projects. We can talk about the things that are coming, what's new in the crypto world, really kind of just add value to the community as far as people that want to learn how to do crypto, learn what good projects are, learn how to recognize good projects, things like that. So that's kind of what the main gist of what why we started on Ninja Lounge, and then obviously to be able to grow from there. So that's the main focus at this time for sure. But we do have big plans too. So.
Right on. All right, Jay, thank you. So, guys, we're going to. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to add, I'm always proud of numbers. And so we are a little bit than 1 week old, but we already managed to have, I think, arranged around 10 great AMAs. We have given away around 100 whitelist spots for our community within this time. And of course, like we managed to grow from 0 to 400 more members within 1 week. So this is the power we are going to, and we will continue to go in the same speed.
It's amazing.
Yeah, that's very impressive. Yeah.
All right, we'll move forward now with your guys' part. So, Jet and Craig, welcome again. And if you guys just wanted to kind of introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your prior experience.
Sure. So I'll start. My name is Craig. I am the PIN founder of Pay It Now PIN token and also acting as the executive officer as well of Pay It Now. My background's a little bit different from the normal crypto background. I've spent the last 22 years in commercial aviation, and where I was acting as a captain and also a training captain on large international aircraft with 400 plus passengers. So as a role and as a captain, I've had the ability to work on management skills, communication skills, and also problem solving that we face day to day in the aviation sector. Other things I've done relating to aviation, I've had the opportunity to set up quite large training companies around the world where I specialize. My niche is in flight training. These companies, I've acted as a CEO, a director, and also a shareholder of these companies. And what we did with inside those companies is we produced airline-ready pilots to some of the biggest and largest international airlines throughout the world. So that's been my CEO background and my director background. For my IT side of things, I've been involved in a company called, I actually won't say the name, but a large flight simulation company that produce large flight simulators and multi-million-dollar flight simulators to some of the biggest airlines around the world as well. As a role in that company, I've been in charge of simulator development and also software testing. I'm fairly new to the crypto space. I've been in crypto for the last 2 to 3 years, but I've learned a lot since being in the crypto space. Mainly as an investor, I'm a day trader and also a miner as well. So the next step in my progress through the crypto sector is to become and develop and progress Pay It Now PIN token. So our head developer, who is also our PIN founder, which is Jet, who is also on this call, he will talk about a lot of the technical aspects of our tech later on. Jet is also a former airline pilot. He has spent a lot of time in aviation, but he's also a web developer and a developer in the IT sector, and he's been in the IT sector for the past 13 years with web development, working on some major projects, both as a team of people and also projects by himself. He's also involved in freelance software quality assurance, where he has been working for an open source forum software for the last 18 years. He might briefly mention or expand on that later on, but Jed has also been in the crypto sector basically before Bitcoin became mainstream, as an investor and a miner as well. So that's a little bit about the dev team, and then I'll just follow on with a couple of other team members. We have Anna, who is our CCO, and she's looking after the marketing side of things, and also the day-to-day running of the business. She's been in the IT sector for the last 13 to 14 years, working for a large company based out of Australia. She's part-time with that company now, and then transitioning to a full-time role in Pay It Now PIN token. She's not available today because she's actually looking after my 2 young children at the moment. So she couldn't be on the call. We also have Phil, who has been a lifelong friend of mine since early days of schooling. He runs an IT company, owns a company for the last 20 years, but he's built that company to a stage now that it's self-sustainable, and Phil has agreed to come on board as one of our project managers. So that's our team overview.
Awesome. Sounds like a very experienced team to me. And you guys all know each other for some time.
Yes.
That's all good stuff. So, a little bit about how you and Jet met, maybe?
Yeah, sure. So we've got a fairly exciting background, me and Jet. So me and Jet met about 7 years ago, flying for an international airline in the Pacific Islands. There we were really good friends, so we'd often do long international flights where we talked in depth about cryptocurrency and about investing, and we had some very heated arguments over time because I wasn't really into the crypto space at that time, and I'm saying, oh, I don't know if I really trust the whole scene, and then he'd fight back and say how good it was, and then he slowly got me into the crypto space, and from there it just took off from there as an addiction basically. But how we progressed further as friends, we had a very serious emergency problem in one of our flights operating into Honolulu, which actually required an emergency descent down to a safe altitude. The oxygen popped out in the back of the cabin, multiple failures in the aircraft, and a very stressful situation. So we successfully navigated that problem and landed the aircraft safely, and we pretty much saved the passengers' lives that were on board our aircraft, and we got rewarded heavily for that. The company loved us for it, of course, but from that stage, we kind of transitioned from friends to being brothers, and we've just got so much respect for each other. I respect what he does in the development sector, but I respect him more as a friend than a colleague. So that's how we met. Recently, I got retrenched from my job as an airline captain. So I returned to New Zealand, where I've been overseas for the last 15 to 20 years. When I returned back to New Zealand, I had a few business ideas. I wanted to exit the aviation game because I wanted to bring my family back to New Zealand and raise them in New Zealand. So I went to Jet immediately, being a good friend of mine, and we talked about a few business options, which was to develop a series of aviation-related applications for pilots. And then another idea we came up with was virtual reality flight training devices for airline training as well. we've put those projects on hold at the moment due to the fact that COVID has affected the aviation sector so badly. So there's no really demand for our products at this stage. So, that led us into developing this other project that we're working on, which is Pay It Now PIN token, and it allows us to focus on that full time from now on out.
Okay.
So yeah, that's how we met each
your
other.
story is incredible. I mean, nerves of steel, basically, and that's what it takes for the crypto industry, no doubt. So yeah, tell us about the project PIN, Pay It Now. Tell us some about that.
Sure. So obviously, being in the aviation sector, it does create a lot of opportunities because people have a lot of respect for what we do. Me and Jet got invited into quite a large investment group in Christchurch, New Zealand, where we talk about shares, we talk about crypto, we talk about new projects as well. During one of our meetings, we have a monthly sit-down dinner, and we were talking with a website owner that has a large website, and he's got 2 million users per month go through his website. And he was going on about the fact that he had no real way to reward his users other than the traditional status points or reputation points you currently get on websites. So we kind of jumped into the conversation and said, well, why don't you start rewarding your users with cryptocurrency? And straight away his eyes light up and he thinks it's a fantastic idea. But the problem is, and the caveat that he had for us was that he just doesn't have any more time. He's just stretched to the max. So he doesn't have the time to moderate a system. He doesn't have a time to implement a system. So Jet, being the extremely intelligent person that he is, he straight away had all these magical ideas about how we can implement an automatic system for this website. He'll talk a little bit about that later on, but from there, our whole business has kind of expanded. As people know, there's a real need to make cryptocurrency easier. We have a serious problem in New Zealand where if we want to buy cryptocurrency, one, we have to download a software wallet like everyone else, but then we want to purchase crypto using our credit cards. Unfortunately, in New Zealand, no banks will allow you to purchase cryptocurrency. So the process there is that our bank payments or transactions get denied. So then we have to ring up the banks and say, look, we want this payment to go through. I can't pay on my credit card for cryptocurrency. And they go, well, we don't recognize cryptocurrency. We think it's not a good investment. But if you want, you can come into the bank and sign some documents, and maybe we'll release your funds at some stage to either Binance or Trust Wallet. So the process is very difficult. And then you have to transfer your Binance into BSC, then go into PancakeSwap, connect your wallet, and so forth to buy decentralized tokens. So we really want to make that process a lot easier by using the Pay It Now system. And once again, Jet will talk a little bit about our procedure, at which we plan to make the process completely a one-step or two-step process to be able to obtain cryptocurrency. When we've been doing our AMAs and starting our community, we've had a lot of interest from people in our community, mainly from customers that have large retail stores. One of our people that we're joining up with or partnering with is actually a butchery. So this butcher has come to us and said, look, we're trying to transition to a more modern style of retail store. We want to get more involved in the crypto space. So are you able to come up with a loyalty-based system that we can give free, or we can give cryptocurrency to our customers, and we can pay them in cryptocurrency, but they can also buy products with cryptocurrency as well. So straight away, Jet's come up with an awesome solution for that, which will be basically a layer 2 solution and our own blockchain, which he will also talk to you a little bit more about soon. And then we had another person that's in our community as well that has a buy, sell, and exchange website. So you can basically, as a user, put on a toaster or put on a computer, and then you can communicate with that community about buying that product with cryptocurrency. So they've come to us and said, well, can you provide us with a payment solution? And straight away, Jet again has come up with that layer 2 solution, which will basically eliminate any transaction fees on our platform. So that's kind of our project at this stage. Obviously, we have the same goals as every other token, which would be to build our own wallet, but our wallet will have a point of difference where it'll be based on Southern Hemisphere projects so that we can bring projects together to help each other. We're also in talks with Dev Team 6 about implementing a pin swap powered by their new technology, PiSwap. So I'll hand the mic over to Jet now, and he'll talk more about the technical side of things.
Sure. Welcome, Jet.
Oh, thanks, Craig. Can everyone hear me?
We can.
Yep.
Excellent. Okay, so let's start with, as Craig mentioned, our basic PIN token. So PIN token will be the token that powers everything from our reward system, the loyalty system, and eventually our layer 2 scaling solution for what Craig has named PIN payment. So let's start with the rewards. As Craig mentioned, we needed a way for website owners to be able to reward their users for spending time on their website versus the myriad of other websites on the internet. So one of the ways we've come up with that is a reward system. One click upload reward system where you upload this one file onto your website, and now you can let your users earn cryptocurrency in the form of PIN tokens for any actions they do on their website. We've partnered with some big projects already. Unfortunately, one of them, the biggest one, is under NDA until our project launches and is in a usable state. Larger websites would like to see a working product before they announce it to their active user base, of course. So it's a forum, which is where users interact, make threads, posts, and messages, and in return they get PIN tokens. So the way it works for website owners is that they partner with us. We analyze their websites, their analytics, user base, and then we airdrop them tokens either on a weekly, fortnightly, or monthly basis for free. And then these are then doled out to their users who can then use them either on their websites or on other websites. They can exchange that for fiat or any other crypto on sites like PancakeSwap, or they can hold and get reflections according to our tokenomics. For the website owners, the obvious benefit is that now they have a very active, a very lucrative advertising base, or something to entice users to use their website over other websites. We've also got a file storage, a cloud storage site called ShareMe, which we've partnered with. So you get rewarded just for uploading stuff on their website and sharing it with other people. And yeah, there's a few, and Greg's mentioned crypto trader and stuff where PIN payment is eventually going to be. That's basically what PIN token started out as a way to provide value for website owners to reward their users with free cryptocurrency. The tokenomics allow us to recharge the current pool that we pay our website owners with, so that we can keep giving out these reward tokens for free for a long time. Moving on to the next system, which Craig found for us, was the loyalty system. So we've had someone approach us and say, hey, we'd like to reward our users with the loyalty system so people can keep shopping with us. And this would be for retailers mostly, but can also be adopted for websites online as well. But this is mostly for retailers, where you can walk into a store, purchase some stuff on either retail or online, and then scan your receipt using our PIN payment app. And then based on how much you spend, almost like a cashback, you will get PIN tokens in return. And this will be on our layer 2 solution, of course, just so we can avoid gas fees or anything like that. This is again at no cost to the retailer, because the retailer is also airdropped free PIN tokens so that he can reward his customers. But the change here is that the the retailer will also have a portal where he can upload stuff that you can buy at his store or establishment using PIN tokens. So we see a real life use in a similar way as you use flybys or Quantus A points or what have you. I don't know what the equivalent is in the United States, but there's any reward system where you can use the credit card, get points, and then use those points. I think it's called miles in the US.
Sure.
Yeah, so you can use that, and like the one we're partnering with is a major butcher retailer here. So he envisions selling steaks, sausages, and everything. You just keep accumulating points, and then you can use those pin tokens to literally go and purchase food from him. And he's also talking about getting us into other retailers that he has contacts with. So that's for the loyalty system. The last one that we're working on and we're anticipating to be out in about 2 to 3 months' time is pin payment. So pin payment will allow anyone anywhere to upload a simple plugin onto your website or your store. You put an app in your store, and now people can pay with pin for everything. Again, using our layer 2 solution to speed up times. I know BSC, which we're on, already has a very low blockchain time, but in our layer 2 solution, all transactions will be less than half a second. So we're looking at a very fast, reliable, gas-free transaction time. So there'll be no transaction fee to the user. Merchants who will accept us will pay a very low 0.5% transaction fee, and then they can accept that and be transacted out every single day. And pin payment is what we're really excited about, because it will allow people in New Zealand to actively purchase cryptocurrency in the form of pin tokens, and then transfer that to other cryptocurrency using our spot wallets, as we like to call them, and then use that to trade without gas fees and there's no fees associated with that until you withdraw to either a cold wallet or an exchange or a decentralized exchange. So that's an overview for pin payment. I know it's a lot to take in, so we'll be happy to answer any questions you may have about the technology. We like to call it a layer 2, but it's almost a layer 1.5 in terms of the technology, because we're not quite a blockchain yet, but we are in the developing stage of having our own side chain to the BSC smart chain and eventually our own blockchain.
I have a related question to what you told, but with the restrictions of using crypto and so on, will you require people to do KYC process to use your payment system? And do you see that there might be some country limitations, which countries can use it actually, and which will be limited?
So for pin payment, because it'll be completely decentralized, we will not require KYC initially. However, we have had some, not us specifically, just from the information we've been having in New Zealand, if we're actively holding people's money, which we will not, it's a gray area, then we will need KYC verification. But we're at launch, the current plans in place, pin payment will not require any KYC because it's completely decentralized. So there's no company holding your data.
Cool. And your company is registered in New Zealand or is in some other jurisdiction?
It is registered in New Zealand.
Yes, we do have a company under the name of Takeoff Media that will be registering PIN payments through eventually and going through the whole financial institution road as well. But like Jez said, at the initial launch, we'll be decentralized at that stage.
Okay. Do you think that that will be a value or a restriction, like because New Zealand has such an attitude for crypto?
Look, we see it as a value if we can later on go through the process where we can be recognized as a financial institution, then it's definitely a value to our business.
Okay, cool.
All right, guys. Yeah, very extensive project. I'm sure you're going to get some of our people coming over to your Telegram asking many questions. So I haven't been to your Telegram but just a couple of short times, but I'm sure they're welcome to come there and get questions answered. But let's move on with some other of the typical questions that we ask, and then we'll see what the audience comes up with here in just a minute.
Mhm.
So the devs on your contract, are you guys the devs? One of you guys the dev, or is it, how's that?
Yes,
Jet, you can
we are the developers on our contract. We did not
Okay.
outsource the contract. If you want to know, I am the one who literally sat down and coded the contract. Obviously, with the way reflection contracts work, they're very similar to other contracts out there, but we are in the process of getting it audited right now to see if there's any improvements that need to be made to the smart contract.
Okay. And then, so the contract, is it made from scratch, or is it a fork of another contract?
It's not exactly a fork. It was made from scratch, but it uses some Open Zeppelin code. Open Zeppelin is the largest collection of smart contract. The best way to explain it would be interfaces. So it contains, you don't want to write up, for example, safe math to calculate mathematics in your smart contract. You just pull in Open Zeppelin safe math. If you want addresses, you put in Open Zeppelin's addresses. As insofar as that, everything was written from scratch, but it uses Open Zeppelin interfaces, and it uses the reflection interfaces from the reflection finance, I think it's called on GitHub. So it is a collection of interfaces that were put together. It's not a direct fork of anything, but it's very similar to a project like SafeMoon, for example. But
Okay.
it's not a fork, but it's a collection of interfaces put together to be very similar to, for example, SafeMoon in terms of how the tokenomics work and how reflections work.
Okay. Will you lead into now you have a bit of a connection with Dev Team 6 and Moonforce, and then also kind of cover your, what previous projects you guys have been in, and just kind of cover those couple items?
Yeah, sure. So when it comes to crypto, this is our first project that we're creating with Pin Token. Obviously, we have a close connection with Dev Team 6 and Moonforce. I've been a holder of all their tokens since day number one. We're really excited to be part of their partnership where they'll oversee our whole project. So having those guys on board to look at our contract, to look at our token going forward is just such a great advantage to us. For people that don't know, Dev Team 6 are the creator of Pi, Mini Doge, and soon to be launched Moonforce token as well.
Okay. And then you say the contract is in process, going to be out before your pre-sale or around that time?
Yes, we've already got a contract minted already. However, we just want it audited properly before we go to pre-sale. So we're just working with a company called Spywolf at the moment. We just had the early communications with them, but they are in the process of looking at our contract right now, and they expect to have something back within the next 4 or 5 days.
Good deal. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's move to marketing. What do you
Sure.
guys have planned, just before launch and, maybe the first few weeks after launch?
Yeah, sure. So we've been slow on the marketing at the moment, and we've done that for a reason. We wanted to create a core community, a community with people that believe in our project instead of just coming in and looking for white listings, looking for private sales, and just really creating FUD in our community. So when you flick over to our community, we have, well, last night we had a lot of members join us, but around about 640 community members, and most of those community members are always online as well. So we have a really organic base, and our private investors, which are our core group, they are people that we know and we trust to be able to hold this token going forward. And sorry, I've diversed a little bit from the question. Let's get back to marketing.
No, you're all right.
So yeah, sure. So yeah, that's right. Why we haven't really gone too hard on the marketing at this stage. All we've done so far is we've done Facebook ads and also looking at running Google ads as well. Look, Facebook hasn't been that successful for us for a reason, because obviously it's not a crypto space at all. And Google ads and previous companies that I've been involved with are also not the best for crypto related stuff. So we just started our campaign with Coinzilla. They are producing our banners for our pre-sale. Well, we produce them, sorry, but they've shilled them out to all their sources for advertisement. And we're also going to be listing a company called AAds, which will also list on PooCoin.app for us. We're also seeking a few AMA groups like yourself. We've got 3 that we've already done and 3 coming up, but we're looking at other groups like Golem's Gems and Caesar's Calls. We also started a radio campaign, actually, which was meant to start on Monday in New Zealand with the major radio stations. Unfortunately, they've come back to us and said, well, we don't know much about crypto. We're going to have to run it through our station managers. We're going to have to find out more information. So that is a work in progress as well. But we really want to start going hard on the marketing this week. So that's our marketing plan.
Okay. So let's move into the tokenomics, and then maybe we will hit one more time on marketing in a moment, but kind of go over your tokenomics with it.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so tokenomics, we have a total supply of 100 million PIN tokens. We plan to swap 41% of our tokens to the liquidity pool, and that will be both on PancakeSwap and PiSwap, which is being produced by Dev Team 6 at the moment. Our token sale program is 25%, and our private sales have just gone in at just over 14%. We have a site owners pool, which is 10%. Now that's the owners pool where we take the pins and distribute them to our partner websites and our partner retailer stores. Team and founders, we have a 5% allocation. And myself and Jed have actually given some of our team and founders allocation back to the reserve fund. That we have a reserve fund of 4%. Obviously, that's just for what we need to do with that reserve fund. And then we have an operational use wallet, which we'll use for marketing and other situations with operational use. So for our transaction fees, we plan to have a transaction fee a little bit different from most tokens, where we'll have it on the sell side instead of the buy, transfer, and sell side. Our transaction fees are made up of 3% going back to the liquidity pool. We'll distribute to holders 1% in reflections. We have an operational use transaction fee of 1.9%. We have a charity wallet of 0.1%. And then we have 1% going back to the site owners pool and 1% on burn. So that's our tokenomics and transaction fees.
Okay. On the private sale, a couple of questions. One is, are there any vesting? And then was there any price difference, from private sale to pre-sale?
Yeah, so
I'll take this one.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead, Jeff.
So we do not have any vesting on the private sales because this was for friends, family, and anyone who literally helped us initially when we were getting started with PIN tokens. So basically everyone we think is going to be a long-term holder and wanted to invest in us to make sure that we can rapidly start our company going. So there's no vesting planned. What was the second question again?
The price, was the price any lower for those private?
Yes, the price was a little lower where we gave them. So the price for pre-sale would be 1 BNB gets you 50,000 PIN tokens, and for the private sale it was 1 BNB gets you 70,000 PIN tokens.
Okay. And then same question kind of on any of the other categories there, the team and founders tokens and any vesting or anything there, any price difference there, same.
So the team and founders, we literally only gave ourselves a 5%. We put of that 2.5% each. We've already put 0.5% into an ops wallet, so we can use that for marketing. Pay when we eventually hire more people to pay them with PIN, what have you. We could use that for that. And for team and founders, me and Craig actually decided that we're gonna lock our wallets just for at least a minimum of 1 year, the same as what we're going to lock the liquidity pool and PancakeSwap. So minimum, we're going to lock it for a year. And we've been talking about it for a little while because, to be quite honest with you, we hadn't even considered vesting, where we could even put a vesting schedule in where we can, for our dev wallets at least, we could only access a certain percentage over maybe 3 or 4 years, just to give people, the confidence that we're just not going to take out 2.5% and run off. If that makes sense.
Right.
So can I just add to that also that the reason why we decided to not go down the vesting route is that the majority of our private sales are people we know, people that we've invited into a core group community. We've got some of those investors on the call today that want to speak later on after when they have a chance to answer questions or ask questions. But we have that trust in them that they will not go ahead and dump. And it is crypto. Sometimes there's no trust in crypto, but the people that we've invited into the pre-sale are friends, they are family, and people we expect to hold long term.
Okay, very good. All right. What about anti-bot?
Oh, sorry, you might have broken up there.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, there was a call coming in. Anti-bot measures or anti-whale, max wallet, any of that?
So
Yep.
we do have some limits in place to prevent for anti-whaling purposes. For example, on our launch, we've only set a 2 BNB cap on pre-sales just to make sure that everyone has a chance to purchase in. For bots, we're looking at ping sales anti-bot measures, but we do not have a max wallet size at the moment planned.
Okay. Okay. So moving to the pre-sale and launch. Sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah, I got a phone call again.
While he broke up for a minute, just to add something onto that, I know you don't have a max wallet size, but when you do launch on PancakeSwap, do you have a max transaction size? Are you limiting to how much people can buy or sell at launch rather than just pre-sale?
At this stage, no. Jet, do you want to take that?
Yeah, we were discussing that to start off with, and to be honest, it's a fluid situation. Me and Craig, we have had long discussions about do we want to set a limit, for example, of 1%, 0.1% of a max sell onto PySwap on PancakeSwap, and it is a discussion that we're gonna keep having for a while. But at this stage, we do not have any of those sell limits in place. However, rest assured,
Yeah, no
we
worries.
do keep
No
having
worries.
this discussion over and over again because
It's
we want.
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I think it's
Yeah.
more of I think what people are more inclined to. I don't think it's max sell type of thing. Obviously, you get your pre-sale tokens, you can sell as much as you want. I'm all for free market. Not vesting and things like that. So I don't have any problems with that. As far as anti-sniping measures, right? A lot of places do the whole big, huge high tax and things like that, and others do, more of a initial buy transaction limit, right? So kind of limits what the snipers can do at any given time. Now, granted, bots can set up multiple transactions, but at least it's a little bit of a deterrent. So I was just curious if you guys had thought about that part of it.
We did, which is why we have the 2 BNB max buy limit for pre-sales anyway. Once, however, we have launched the token, at this stage, we don't have any buy or sell limits. As you said, we'd like to encourage a free market where you can buy or sell as much as you'd like, rather than us having to step
Of course,
in and say,
yeah, no worries.
Yeah, look, it's something
Yeah, no,
that we do talk about.
Just definitely a question
often.
that usually comes up.
Yeah, no, agree.
Sorry.
And
yeah, it's just a question that comes up, so I wanted to clarify.
Yeah, sure. And like Jet said, we have approached this often, including this morning when we had a meeting. So, maybe that's something we need to put to our community to see if they like the idea of having that in place. But yeah, we don't have any plans at this stage.
Yep. Again, no worries.
Okay.
Like I said, just more of a clarification.
Sure.
All right, moving into pre-sale and launch. What are your pre-sale and launch dates? And then we'll move into soft cap, hard cap, and min max and that kind of thing.
Sure. Okay. So on our website, we've listed that our pre-sales will go live between the 30th of November and the 7th of December. Now, we have a date range because we're quite reliant on our launch platform at the moment, which is by Moonforce. They are having their own struggles with a few delays, but we expect to find out some clear answers on Monday when they open the office up to tell us exactly when they plan to give us their launch platform so we can start pre-sales. So at this stage, we're just telling everyone that it's between the 30th of November and the 7th of December.
Okay. And that's pre-sale and launch sometime in that time frame?
Yes, we just want a little bit of a buffer between pre-sale and going live, just to make sure we've got everything correct before we change our liquidity onto Pancake Swap or Pi Swap.
Okay.
So it should be within 24 hours to clarify that answer.
Okay. And so with Moonforce then being your pre-sale launch pad, are you going to be the first project on that launch pad? Sounds like.
So yeah, so we were first project to go through the vetting process. We immediately got vetted and the agreement was set in place. So their process is that their local token will be the first token to launch on Moonforce, and then we'll follow up as the second token at this stage.
Gotcha. Okay. And then what are your min max and soft cap and hard capital?
Sure. So there's no min buy for pre-sales. We have a max buy of 2 BNB. We've got a soft cap of 300 BNB and a hard cap of 500 BNB.
Okay. And is the pre-sale whitelist only or public and whitelist or?
Sure. So what we're doing is a whitelisting competition in our community, which requires a certain amount of tasks to be completed to be whitelisted. We're expecting that we will have enough whitelisted spots to sell out our pre-sales. But if that doesn't happen, then 48 hours after we launch our pre-sales, we'll open it up for public sale. But we are anticipating that we'll sell out at whitelisted pre-sales.
Okay.
I just want to clarify from your answers. I think I know the answer already, but for others as well, because this is new Launchpad, like, and nobody used it before. So will it require some, I don't know, Moonforce tokens or something to actually participate?
No, so the process with the Moonforce platform is you buy Moonforce tokens just to be a holder of that token for its value. But Moonforce will also allow holders to make future decisions on the platform, but there is no requirement to have the Moonforce token to buy a PIN token.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tracy?
Sorry, my son was being dropped off, guys. He is here now. All is well. All right. So for the whitelist process, we're going to have some whitelist spots to do a contest with for our community members here. And then those who don't get one of those spots, they'll be able to get the information from your Telegram group as to how to join your whitelist.
That's correct. Come over our community. Devs are constantly active. We have some really great moderators in the group, so they're very helpful. You can check us out at payitnow_pin. So that's payitnow_pin.
Okay. I think that concludes, all the questions. Are there any of the ninjas who would like to ask any other questions or add anything at this point?
Yeah, I like to ask if you can consider from the, because you're coming also from the other business experiences, do you have I don't know, like a portfolio of dream holder who will be holding long term, and based on that also like looking for the marketing approach?
Just to clarify that question, was that in relation to our perfect typer holder, or
Yeah. So what kind of like investor you are mostly would be happy to have?
Sure. Well, we'd be happy for long-term holders, of course, that support our project, believe in our project. We have one of our biggest holders actually on the call today. So later on, when we're allowed to, or the community is allowed to ask questions, we might open his mic up and get him to come in and say a few words.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, we'll definitely do that. What is his name?
Paisano.
Yeah, we'll get him for sure during this Q&A session.
Yeah.
Jay, anything from you, Jay?
Yeah, I actually do. Yeah, did have a question earlier. You had mentioned, one of your big things is you guys are, giving out free tokens to, retailers and different places in order to, hand out to their customers and things like that in order to token to pay for things or to, swap it to other cryptocurrency and things like that. And then I think Jet even said that you guys will never run out of those tokens because you have a mint function or something like that. Was that correct?
So
Yeah.
yes and no. We have no plans to mint more tokens. However, I probably should have mentioned this before. The main site owners pool will operate as a pseudo AMM, an automated market maker, in the sense, and not a true automated market maker like on Pancake or any decentralized exchange, but very similar in the sense that when we're giving out these free tokens to our pin partners, as we like to call them, be them websites or retailers or anyone in particular, we don't give them
Okay.
a set number of pins a month. We give them a set amount of pins for fiat amounts. So, for example, if a website is relatively large, it might be getting $1,000 worth of pins every week. Whereas if a website has just started up or a retailer has just started up and does not need that amount of pins, he might only be getting $100 of pins a month. Now, there was one thing I forgot to mention before is that even though they get a set number of pins, if they have completely utilized those pins, I mean, given them out to their customers, and they run out before the next airdrop, they do have the option where, or we'll remind them that they can purchase more pins directly from an exchange using a very simple interface so that they can keep rewarding their users. As you know, if your customers get used to getting free stuff, you can't just stop giving them free stuff just because you've run out. So
Right.
it will incentivize these partners to purchase pins. We haven't really decided if we're going to give them a cheaper rate right now, or if they're going to have to just purchase them outright for the price everyone else purchases pins. But the idea is the system will be self-sustaining, where they can either purchase more pins to keep their ecosystem going, or wait for the next free airdrop, whichever one they prefer. Now, as more
Right.
people use
Right.
the token and the price of the token goes up, the number of tokens you get decreases, but you still get the same monetary value for the tokens. So if a retailer is giving out, for example, $100 of pins a week, in the start when our pin launches, it's going to be a very low price. I think it's very close to a cent. You might be giving away 100 free token, 100,000 free tokens a week. But as the price goes up to maybe like $1, you can see that now you'll only be giving away 100 pins. So that way, and we obviously have our tokenomics to replenish the pool as more people use it. So the more people that use it, the more pins flow back into the partner pool, and the more people that use it, the more the value of the token goes up, the less tokens get doled out. So we've done the math where we should not need to mint or do anything. Not that, obviously minting, destroys the price of a token really, really fast.
Of course. That
We
was
don't
one of
have
my
plans to,
concerns.
yeah, we're not minting any more tokens. We have run the numbers based on how many people we see using the token, and how we've run about maybe 5 or 10 simulations to say if X number of people join us and X number of sites join us, X number of retailers join us, and this is how much they use, we can keep going for at least a year, 2 years, without having to worry about more tokens. And we also have the ability, if we need to purchase tokens directly and replenish the site pool directly from PancakeSwap or PySwap or what have you. So if we as a team see that we're running out of tokens, we do retain the ability to use some money from our dev wallet, or not the dev wallet, sorry, the operational budget, the reserve fund, to use though to purchase more pin tokens to replenish the site owners pools, and it's not really that expensive.
Right, right. But do you have any concerns with, say, you give out, 100,000 tokens for free, right? And they dole them out
Mm-hmm.
to their people. Well, their people can just come on to, Pancake Swap and sell those tokens, right? So do you have any concerns with giving out so many free tokens that, it may just be something that people turn around and sell? Just to, I mean, a lot of free tokens going
Yes.
out the door, and then coming back in and being sold could actually, be detrimental to the price of pin token.
Yes, we have considered that. And again, we've run a risk analysis on when we're partnering with someone, we're not just going to keep giving them out tokens if we don't see value from the project. So, for example, if we're giving out 1,000 tokens a week to this website, and all we see is that those users are just then going out and exchanging for fiat currency, obviously there's no value because these people are not holding these tokens. They're not, and so these tokens will we will adjust when a partner partners with us, we adjust how many tokens they get airdropped. So the more a partner uses tokens, the more value it brings to the project, rather than them selling just to PancakeSwap to destroy the price. You have to.
Right.
It's sort of counterintuitive, but the more we give out to people and the more they use it, the more the price will reflect that, because people can only sell how much we give out, and if we give out too much, there's not going to be a system where we give out too much. If people are using it, that if sites or partners are using it to a point where giving out too many tokens, at that point they will be purchasing that rather than just getting it for free. We'll only be giving out a certain number of free tokens every month. That's dependent on the analytics of the partner themselves. So if someone's
No, I mean,
bringing good
I
value to
understand.
the project, yeah.
Right, I understand that, but the more people that are out there using the token, right, depending on what they're using it for, right? Now, if they're using
Mm-hmm.
it, with say the butchery, for example, right, and they're
Mm-hmm.
using pin token to buy their steaks, then
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't really affect the supply or the price of pin token, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's basically the butchery giving away free things to their customers, which is fine. But at
Mm-hmm.
some point in time, I would imagine that those free tokens are going to make their way back to the pin community, the pin ecosystem.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep. Yep.
And at some point in time be exchanged for fiat currency at some point in time. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
when,
Yes.
but it does seem a little bit, and you said it does seem a little bit counterproductive, to hand out a bunch of free tokens every month that may or may not. I mean, is there something, and maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I'm missing something in the tokenomics that actually pays for those tokens, or I mean, if
All
it's
right.
just free tokens being given out, you're increasing the supply, right? You're increasing the supply out there, but not
Mhm.
really increasing the demand, which should cause the
All
price to
right.
go down. So that's my concern.
Yes. So there's one thing I feel like I don't know if we mentioned this. For the loyalty system, for that specific use case as you mentioned, right? For loyalty systems, when we give out tokens, this will be specifically on our layer two solution, where we know that this is it's still the same pin token. So be it on the main BSC smart chain or our layer two, we're still using the same 100 million tokens that we've minted, only they're bridged across to our layer two when we're given out, just so that for you to transact these on a daily basis, when you scan your receipt, you want to get these free tokens. You don't want to be paying gas fees on every single transaction. If you go to your butcher and you pay him with pin tokens, you don't want to be paying gas fees in BNB. You don't want to be paying our pin token transaction fees or any sort of fees. You just want to, if you have 100 tokens and the stake costs 100 tokens, you want to make sure you pay 100 and the butcher gets 100, right? So this is why it's going to be on the layer 2 solution, not on the BSC smart chain. So for that, if you got those tokens as part of a loyalty program, right, then those tokens are almost earmarked that these are loyalty tokens that that were given for free, and so they go into the butcher's loyalty pool to be then doled back out.
Mhm.
So they
Okay, so
never
are
sort of
you telling
end
me
up
that the
back
layer
on the.
two? Okay, so the layer two platform,
Mm-hmm.
right? If you want to call it a platform,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
basically with the loyalty programs, those tokens are they all earmarked, not earmarked, but can they only be used on that layer 2 system and cannot be sold for fiat currency on the BSC smart chain?
If you get the token for free, right, you can use the token to exchange it for free. Yes, I guess if you're looking at it that way, you can, if the butcher gave them out for free, you can go and exchange that for fiat currency. But then as soon as you withdraw it to a cold wallet or put it to an exchange, then you're subject to transaction fees and gas fees, obviously. But yes, if you exchange it back to the butcher for for any free stuff at the butcher, then he cannot turn around and sell those tokens back to the exchange. So if the tokens are given out for free, they can only be used in that ecosystem.
For the retailer or for the partner, right?
For the retailer,
partner, in other
yeah.
words, you can't give the partner free tokens and then he goes and sells them, but he can
Yeah,
give them out to somebody else who could technically
yes.
go and sell them.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Yep. Yeah. No worries. I mean, I'm sure you guys have done the math and thought it through. It just seems
yeah, like I said,
it does seem to me that's a little bit of a that could be a little bit of a concern going forward as far as trying to keep a price floor on the token if you're handing out free tokens every month.
Trust me when I say it, we've done a lot of simulations on putting together, let's say 50 partners, 100 partners, how many we're going to give to them versus how many we can realistically expect them to buy before they will be they'll because we'll be giving them free tokens to sell, but even if every one of those free tokens ends up being sold, the amount of tokens that are being bought by those partners, because those partners want to keep giving out free tokens, will offset the amount that are being put back in. Because it's just like any loyalty program. There is a certain percentage of people who are going to hold long term because they want to get something better rather than, if for example, if you're let's use the butcher as an example because he's one of our launch customers, right? If you're buying $100 worth of steak there and you get $1 in pin token back, right? You're not going to immediately cash out, and then
no, I get it. It's something that you're going to save. You're going to save up your tokens till you can buy, a pack of steaks rather than one steak or something. So I understand what you're saying. And it does it does clear it up a little bit with the butcher having to possibly buy more tokens, during the month if he gave them out all, prior to
exactly.
more. So that does make sense. I just definitely something that I wanted to, kind of clarify.
Oh no, I'm glad you did, because like I said, you do make a good point, and I don't want people thinking, hey, this is a token that's literally giving out free tokens to people that are just gonna spend them at the exchange and tank the price. We have done some research into a lot of research into what are the cost analysis, not the cost analysis, but the risk factor of, do we give them this amount of tokens and then we expect them to buy this amount of tokens? So we've done a few percentages to say, okay, if someone we're giving out $100 of pin in a month is giving $100 of pin every month, and all of that is coming back to the exchange, no one's holding long term, that's a little suspect. We're going to work with that partner to say, hey, what's going on here? Something doesn't seem right here. Whereas the normal use case would be, we want users to use those free loyalty tokens in that ecosystem. For example, if you're saving money to get a steak, it's better value than you cashing it out into a fiat currency where you're now paying gas fees, you're paying a transaction fees when you're selling the token. It's less incentive for you to sell the token rather than just to keep it in the same ecosystem. Whereas, you could buy $100 steak, but if you try to withdraw that $100, you might only get like $85 or $90 because you're paying gas fees for BNB to move it to your cold wallet. Then you're going to pay gas fees to move that to an exchange, or you pay the sell transaction fee of 8%, which then gets given out to all our users. So it'll be better value for the customer to use it in that ecosystem rather than to cash out.
No, that makes a lot of sense.
That is an option. Yeah,
that makes a lot of sense for that, for sure. And like I said, I just I always try to think of questions that could come up, the hard questions, right?
So I appreciate it.
When you come here, we'd rather hear it from what your guys' perspective is than try to answer the question later on to our community based on what our thoughts are or we may not have, right? So I just try to think of the hard questions that may come up later and let the team answer them rather than us try to guess at them later.
Yes, and Jay, that's a question that has been brought up on many occasions to us. So that is something that we've spent a lot of time going over and over to make sure that there's no issues surrounding this. Just trust us in the fact that that has been broached many, many times.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure that's not the first time you've heard it, and it's good to hear that you guys have already thought of it and worked through some scenarios,
Indeed.
and probably it
Yeah.
sounds like many, many, many scenarios, which is a good thing. It's a good thing to hear,
Yeah.
for sure. Awesome. Hey man, best of luck on the project, guys. I'm really interested. So
Thank you, Jay.
Thank
I'll be
you.
Appreciate
definitely
it.
paying attention.
All right, Yolanta or Phyllis, anything else to ask or add to this before I move to the audience?
I'm good. Thanks.
Yep. All right, and guys, is the butcher in the house? Is that
Sorry,
Crypto Butcher?
actually, I
I
do have
don't.
something. I do
Okay.
have,
Sorry, go ahead.
Go
I
ahead,
have something
Phyllis.
to say. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I was actually trying to unmute myself and my fingers weren't fast enough.
No
I
worries.
just wanted to say, thanks so much for being here. I learned a lot about your project today. I liked it when I first looked at it, and I'm sure there's still a little bit more research we need to do, but I think it's you gave us a wealth of information to think about. And I just wanted to say thank you. And I'm sure there are some people that have questions here that want to ask. And I just want to say thanks.
And thank you, Phyllis. This has been such a great experience that we've experienced with your group. You're so professional, and we know that your group is going to expand to be one of the most popular and best groups in crypto. There's no doubt about it in my mind.
That's exactly what we're trying to do here. We're trying to change the space of this whole crypto space, especially in the BSC world and beyond. And we all the people that are on this call and all 400 people that are in our groups are pretty much they're solid investors. They really are. So they're not just a bunch of kids looking to get in and out of projects and make a quick pump and dump, and we're really proud of them and what they have done over the last 5-6 months, and they're a great group. So we're really happy to have them and very honored to have them a part of our community.
Yeah.
All right,
That's
good
great.
deal. Thank you, Phyllis. And so Craig, is that the butcher we're talking about, the retailer butcher that from your team?
Look,
I unmuted
Paizono.
Crypto NZ Butcher. I'm assuming Crypto New Zealand Butcher is the right one.
Right on.
Yeah,
Go
that's
ahead.
correct. We have two of our guests on board from our community today. We have Paisano, which is our biggest holder of PIN through the private sales, and we also have a butcher online. I'm not sure if the butcher would like to speak or not. We'll leave that one up to him. But if you could just unmute Ruben and also Paisano as well.
Yeah.
I'll give the butcher the chance if he wants to talk first.
Okay. Yeah. G'day, guys. I'm very new to the whole crypto sort of space, and came across PIN just on the local sort of Facebook groups, and sort of then got sort of talking, and we're probably definitely in the top 5, if not the top 3 busiest shops in New Zealand. And I've been looking for years to have some kind of loyalty program, but for us, like on a Saturday, we're putting through a customer every 45 seconds. So it's whatever loyalty thing it is. People have come to me in the past, and it couldn't be something that my staff have to go into another screen or pull something up. It has to be like fast. Like for us, if you go into a certain supermarkets, you just scan your card while the operator's working, then it works. So that's sort of what we're going to be sort of working with Jit and Craig and that, and just sort of working something that's going to work well. For me, it's not so much about giving away the crypto, it's sort of rewarding the customers that, again, they would, whether it's like when you go and get the old coffee card at Starbucks or wherever it is, and you get 10 stamps and then you get a free coffee. So it's having something like that, and it'd be working out the dollar value. So people would come in, whether they get a certain amount of pins or however how we sort of nut that out, that they get a free packet of sausages. And then eventually to be able to, people could come into the store and pay with crypto as well. Again, hopefully it's got to be seamless for us to sort of work. So I'm really excited to be in and to try and be one of the first retailers in New Zealand to sort of do this kind of thing. And yeah, so that's sort of just a bit about us. So yeah.
Sounds good. Appreciate it.
Okay, it's my turn.
Go ahead, Paisano.
Guys. All right. Well, thank you for having me in this group. You guys do have congratulations on your size, and you guys are definitely very professional. All the questions have been quality, and you know, a lot of them I asked myself, and I really enjoyed it. You know, with Craig, how I would say for me right now, I don't know if you guys have mentioned you're in the BSC space, and I'm a little bit what is it? I'm project wary right now with the thousands of projects every day that somebody's hit me up with. And right now is what I look for more is people, because right now that, you know, there's tech, but most projects we still don't have the tech yet. Some do, but it's the people that I buy into. My whole life I've made a living buying into people, and it's done pretty well for me. And we've been in similar projects together where I actually heard Craig's name a bunch of times before we actually had a chance to sit down and talk. And first time we sat down and talked, we spent an hour and a half, and I've literally made a living on reading people and their body language. That's why I said, okay, we got to do a video chat, me and you. Because I want to be able to look at you, and I want to make sure your mouth matches exactly what your body language says, because your body language tells me 90% more than anything you're going to say. And so when we sat down and talked, and the kind of quality of human being that I find him to be, and also Jet and the team they've put together, was something that I just wanted to be a part of. Now, what I like about it is it solves a problem. My biggest frustration with the BSC space and these tokens is I have a lot of friends of mine that are kind of old school, whether in the real estate and everything else. And for them to go buy a lot of the tokens that I have is so much of a hassle that if it was easy, they drop 50, 100 grand on it. But because it's so much of a hassle, they don't want to do any of it. And if you're listening to what I hear, the further down the road, so it's great because you got the retailer like the butcher, you got Ruben there where it solves his problem. But at the same time, it solves our problem to get people into crypto. Because also when you explain, guess what? You own crypto coins. What? I don't even know what that is. Well, you have it. That's what your tokens are. That introduce people. So basically we're giving out marketing. So I like to call them partners, but also marketers at the same time. So we're giving out something, introducing people that were scared, but once they already have something, now they got it. And it's one of those things where, oh my gosh, I'm already a part of it. Next thing you know, it's like, wait, I'm not scared. Hey, I got this. How did I get this? And whether it's 1, 2, 5, it doesn't matter. But what he's saying is you're going to be able to plug in the PIN system, because it's decentralized, to websites. So specifically, let's say there's a new project going on, and instead of, you know, going and, you know, for me being in the US, I go through Coinbase, and then I got to transfer it to Binance, then I go to Trust Wallet, then I go to Pancakes, and everybody wants their little piece. But if they just put that plug-in in and they accept PIN, we'll be able to transfer right across, and it won't even have those gas fees. So it solves a huge problem, because most people, I'm not going to help them buy their crypto. I mean, I'll tell them go buy the big coins, but they're going to want to go, well, I want to buy what you're buying. Well, there's only a few people I like enough that I'm going to sit down for 25 minutes to get them qualified in every single thing they got to get qualified into. And then they still got to wait to transfer all the money. So I generally end up having to use my money, and then they just pay me directly. And with the IRS implications of that, I don't really want to deal. Who knows what's going to happen? Who knows? But so with these guys, you know, the opportunity came across, and I was very excited about it because I was excited about the people. You know what I mean? I'm excited about their story, how their relationship was born out of adversity. And that tells you, when you take the job as a captain of the biggest planes in the world, and if it goes bad, it's on you, right? You ever see the movie Sully? It's on him, right? We did our job. So guys that come out of that are used to being under pressure. And that's the biggest thing. The adversity is going to come. But how are you going to respond? And I believe these guys are going to respond the right way. And that's why I'm a part of this project. So I'm just glad to be a part of it. if you guys got any questions for me, and I just have to be a lucky guy, just happen to be in the right place at the right time. Thanks.
Paisano, I know the only thing I would like to say to you is one day I'd love to have a cup of coffee with you, man. Appreciate your.
No problem.
Thanks, Paisano.
You know, I'm excited. You know what? I truly, I'm truly excited about what your group's mission statement was, right? To create a quality group in a space right now that is missing a bunch of that. And what I love most about this project right here is this is a long-term hold. I'm not the good pump and dump guy. You know, I think I've tried it twice. It didn't work out well for me. I go, this is just not my thing. So if I'm not gonna hold on to it, I'm not gonna go out there and compete with the bots and all the other stuff, because I've been in crypto for about 3 years, but I'm not Mr. I'm not Mr. Computer. If it gets too complicated, these guys are gonna beat me every day of the week. But I am a people person, and if I can connect my wagon to the right guy, then I know that it's gonna end up paying off. And I'm also a man of faith, so I pray about all the decisions that I do. And so for me, hit your mind. This was a no-brainer, and it's a long-term hold. Is there going to be some adversity that comes? Sure, but I believe these are the guys that, when it comes, they're going to keep moving forward. So
I don't. I can appreciate everything you've said there, Paisano. Thanks for being here for sure. Craig, if you're good now, we'll take a couple of questions from our group.
Yeah, sure. So Paisano, thank you for those words, my friend. It means a lot to us that you're one of our biggest holders and you give us so much support in what we're doing. So thank you.
Really appreciate it, Paisano. Really do.
Good deal, guys. All right, Yanko, you've had your hand up a minute. Let's talk to Yanko. Go ahead.
Hey guys, kia ora.
Kia ora.
G'day.
Hey, good day. Hey guys, this is I'm impressed by what you're saying, because almost every week friends of mine from New Zealand, they send me Western Union, or once a month I'm sending me in crypto. You're solving a big problem right there. And
Yes.
with the stakes, you try to say, I come there to do your shop, let's say in Ponsonby, I'm buying a stake and you give me back a stake and crypto.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, basically. So you can compare it to any frequent flyer or loyalty system where it becomes an airline-based thing. So if someone comes into the butchery shop, they purchase a stake for, say, $100, and they'll get a percentage of loyalty fees or crypto back into their application.
This is beautiful, because if someone is like me, eating a lot of steaks, and he can collecting all those tokens, and the price go up, and then they come back and they can buy back with this crypto stakes again. That's right.
Exactly, that's correct. And it also brings in more and more customers into their store, because crypto is becoming a well-known thing in New Zealand now. So let's go to a butchery that is embracing all this new technology and advancing his shop, and let's go to his shop and spend, because we get free crypto, which everyone wants. It's a win-win.
Yes. This is a very good thing. Very. I mean, I'm an investor. I'm in marketing. All my life working marketing. I've been studying marketing in Australia and been working with the famous people in Australia. And I like what you say, because guys, if you go to Queenstown, the junkie capital of the world, and you can, if you can offer to any backpackers or hotels this your project, everybody, because there's young people, and if they say, hey, this hotel, if you sleep here, you get crypto back, the whole world is coming to there. I think you guys are brilliant. Thank you very much for that, and looking really forward. I'm full all in.
Thank you so much for your kind words. We really appreciate it. Anytime you're in New Zealand, come see us. We'll host you. We will support you. We'll take you out for dinners and take you to the Australian butcher.
New Zealand is my second home. I'm New Zealand passport holder.
Oh, nice. All right. Well,
That's nice.
Make sure you get in touch with us the next time you come back.
Definitely.
Right on. Awesome stuff. Thank you, Yanko. All right. We'll move to Val. How are you, Val?
Doing great, thank you. And I want to thank you folks for coming and spending time with us, and for not having just another cookie cutter project, because this is an interesting one that has some real meat to it, and I appreciate that. So thanks.
Thank you.
Two things are curious to me. First off, you've only got 100 million total minted tokens, right? I see in your tokenomics. That doesn't seem to give you a lot for a global play. And the other thing that because I could see this catching on, and the other thing that I'm asking is, BCS isn't generally thought to have fast enough transaction speeds for real-time merchant transactions on any scale. So how soon do you plan on having your blockchain out, and how fast do you anticipate that's going to be?
I'll take this one, Craig.
Sure.
First of all, we only minted 100 million tokens because we didn't want to be one of those tokens that had, let's say, 1 trillion or 1 quadrillion tokens and launch with a price of 0.00001 or something like that. So at launch right now, we're looking at a price of 0.01 cent, almost close to 1.1 cent, so that it makes a little bit more sense where you're holding only 10,000 tokens to be, holding $100 or something, rather than, you're holding 50 million. When I look at, for example, my Shiba or any of those, I can see like an insane amount of tokens, but the value, it's only $20 or something. So yes, you are correct. We only have 100 million tokens in supply, but we've run the numbers so that it makes a little bit more sense to you, in the sense that it's worth a cent or it's worth 5 cents. It's getting close to $1 sooner, rather than, having a lot of tokens, a quadrillion or 10 quadrillion, and then having manual burn events to reduce the volume. We don't have plan at this stage to have any manual burn events or such to reduce the total amount of tokens. We don't want to artificially create a demand because we've burned 50% of our supply. The idea is we've got these number of tokens, which should last because the price reflects the amount of tokens we have. So the price should go up. And as we mentioned, the forum owners pool that we have will keep maintaining the free tokens that we can give out, because the price will keep going up, commensurate with the amount of tokens we're giving out. The next one about, yes, me and Craig, we had a lot of discussion about this. We did look at Solana to run our blockchain, to mint our initial token on. Unfortunately, Solana is quite new compared to BSC. BSC is a fork of Ethereum, as most people know, and because of that, it benefits from the same robust code base that Ethereum has, even though it's Binance. So it's a Binance smart chain, so there's less traffic, less gas fees. Solana was the obvious choice to go with, where we would not have needed a layer 2 solution or our own blockchain eventually, because it has a very low transaction time. However, unfortunately, we did want to include the reflection function in our contract, and at the time, there were no such libraries available on Solana, and everything would have been needed to be coded from scratch. It would have increased our development time. We really wanted to get the project out there as soon as possible while we're still in the bull run. B, it would have there's a problem if less people are using a network. There's less security in the code. So if we had to code everything from scratch, reinvent the wheel sort of on Solana, you don't know if that could introduce any code vulnerabilities or anything like that. So we went with robustness over the flexibility that Solana would have afforded us. The other thing is, I don't know how many people are familiar with Solana as a project, but it's more centralized than Binance, which is already more centralized than Ethereum. And when we were talking about having this project, unfortunately, Solana had one of its periods where they shut down the entire network. And there's been a lot of arguments since then about, is it really a true decentralized network if the devs can flick a switch and the whole network goes down? So that's unfortunately played into our decision, where we said, nope, Solana is good, but weighing the pros and cons, we had to go with Binance Smart Chain for our payment solution. Yes, there's a little bit more gas fees, which is why we came up with our own layer 2 solution, which will be on top of BSC Smart Chain. It does reduce the decentralization a little bit. As many people are aware, you trade off speed and the reduction of gas fees for decentralization a little bit. But the idea is in 2 to 3 months from now, we will have our layer 2 solution, which is when we are launching the PIN payment platform, of course, where we won't have any more worries about transaction time. For our layer 2, we're looking at anywhere from 300 to 400 millisecond block times for doing transactions. However, that's something we're looking at testing and improving with the number of nodes we put in. So we'll have a proof of stake consensus mechanism versus a proof of work. And we're looking at starting with maybe 5 or 6 validator nodes and going from there.
Great answer. Thank you. Really, I appreciate it. When people can come here and actually answer the questions really straight, that's really awesome.
Yeah, I've been told yeah.
Oh, I just wanted to add one thing to that. You know, as far as 100 million tokens not being a global play, I think Bitcoin only has what, 25 million. So, and I think everybody in the world can buy Bitcoin. So,
yeah. Believe
100
it or
million
not,
is more
me
than
and
enough for a
Craig
global
had this
play.
discussion
There is a problem with
maybe
that.
a few hundred times. Yeah.
There is a problem with that from a merchant transaction, though, and that's the big complaint about Bitcoin in that regard. First off, it's really slow. The other thing is nobody wants to go to the butcher, as an example, and pay 0.000000025 for a steak. It's too confusing.
Yeah.
Exactly. Thank you, Val. But at the same time, no one wants to go to a butcher and pay 20 million tokens for one steak either. So there had to be a balance, you know. So that's, like I said, me and Craig, we had this discussion a long time, multiple times, where he said, I don't really think 100 million is enough. We need to go with 100 billion or something. And I was like, nope, I'm going to put my foot down and say, nope, 100 million.
Well,
only has 100. Yeah.
Even 100 billion would probably be okay, but we did one recently that was 4 trillion. But I got to tell you, it was a kind of a rush walking away from that pre-sale saying, I got 1.44 trillion tokens. That's kind of cool. You know?
Each his own.
But yeah.
All right, thanks, guys. I appreciate your answer. Great input.
Thank you, Val. All right, we had another hand. I don't see it now. Do we have any other? We have time for maybe one more question, and then we're going to wrap it up here. Player one, you had your hand up. What do you got, player one?
Yes, sir. How's everybody doing? Good answers. Great questions. I was just wondering, you had mentioned that Paisano is one of the biggest holders. So do you already have people holding the coin?
Yes, that's correct. So we launched a private sale a number of weeks ago, and that was just for our friends, family, and people that have supported PIN in the early days, and also our partners as well. Our private sale, it sold out straight away, and we had to stop the private sale after a couple of days. So that's just to give you some clarity on that. And they're not actually holding the token at the moment, but between pre-sales and the token going live, we'll automatically airdrop their tokens to them.
Okay, I appreciate that. I just hopped on a little bit late, I guess. I'm not sure if all that was already mentioned, and I'll just go ahead and refer back to the recording.
Excellent.
Right,
thank you.
Thanks, player one. Well, guys, we've been at this about an hour and a half. I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up at this point. If you guys have something you want to say in closing, anything you want to add, please feel free to do so.
Sure. Just in closing, I guess we can direct you to our website, which is www.payitnow.io. All the information about PIN is present on our website. The white papers are there. There's links to our Telegram. There's more information about our project. You can also join us on Telegram at payitnow_PIN. And we just want to add that, you know, we're here to stay. This project is going ahead, and we're going to be bringing crypto mainstream in our part of the world and eventually extend right out throughout the whole world. We have a great project, a great team. We're working full time on this, and we believe in what we're doing. We're trying to create a situation where crypto becomes an easy solution to payments throughout the whole of New Zealand and the world.
Right on. Craig and Jed, I appreciate you both, and our audience members, as well as the Ruben, the butcher, and Paisano, big time holder, and that guy has been in sales and marketing before. I know he has. Jay, anything else, Jay or Yolanta, before we stop the recording?
No, I'm good, bro.
Right
I'm
on,
good.
right on.
Thanks, guys, for coming and sharing
Amazing.
projects with us. Seriously, and
Yeah.
super interested in watching and possibly getting involved with you guys as you go to pre-sale.
Excellent.
so
Thank
much.
you for the opportunity. We really
All
do
right.
appreciate it. We love your group, and we will be directing people to your community as well. So
Awesome.
rest assured that will happen.
All right, Yolanta, if you want to stop the recording.